Good evening. I'd like to call a special meeting of the City Council of Satellite Beach, March 21st, 2013, approximately 7 p.m. I will open this up with the first agenda item for citizens' comments. Hearing none, bring it back to council. Agenda item number 3, discuss, take action on final selection of city manager candidate.
Colin Benzinger Associates. The procedure I would recommend that you follow is we've given each of you a ballot. There's 4 names on the ballot. What I would suggest is that you tick off your top 2 candidates. We'll have the clerk total it up, and we'll see who you seem to be most focused on. The advantage of doing it this way is that there may be a couple of candidates that nobody's interested in. There may be 2 that everybody's interested in, and there's no real reason to talk about the 2 that nobody's interested in. If there are 2, there may, you could all be split, and you could have everybody interested in all 4 candidates. So, but this tends to work well. It tends to narrow the field so you can focus your discussion a little more quickly. So, if you're willing to do that, hand me a ballot or pass it over to Lenore or whatever you want to do.
I'm here.
You're done.
Oh, well, I'm not here.
As the suspense builds. And then, once we have the, say, 2 candidates that we're focused on, then you can have some discussion if you like. You can go directly to a second ballot and see if there's somebody who's your favorite, whatever you prefer. It's really your process at this point. I'm sorry. What I said was, at this point, once you have your 2 candidates, assuming there are 2, then you can have some discussion, if you like, about the 2 candidates, their relative merits, if you want. Or if you want, you can go directly to the second ballot and see if there's somebody that's a clear winner. It's your call. It's your process at this point.
Thank you.
Would you like me to say it again? We need to get her a printer at her station here. Or at least one on a cart. I'm sorry? That's true. Sure. It'd be nice if, as she was putting it in, you could just show it on the screen. Yeah, you'll have about 45 days probably to get it done. Okay. I will give you the results, and there are 2 candidates that are clearly preferred by the council. Courtney Barker had 4 votes. Conrad Hildebrand had 1. Armando Martinez had none. And Paul Andy Stewart had 5. Now, of course, they could be first or second place votes, so we don't know. Andy could have 5 first place votes, or he could have 5 second place votes. So we just need to have some discussion, or do what you want to do next.
I would think, Mr. Mayor, we can do some discussion. I think the second ballot would be appropriate too. It's probably the best way to handle it.
Discussion first? It's up to discussion first, discuss or ballot?
Ballot. I'm up for a discussion. I believe in transparency in government, and
I wouldn't mind discussing the candidates and
Okay.
open if that's the will of this council.
I'll take that. Go.
I think, and I apologize, I have a terrible cold. I think that Andy Stewart really kind of presented the entire package. It was wonderful interviewing with him. I felt like the time wasn't long enough when I interviewed him. The time kind of went by, and I actually went out to Bunnell and checked out Bunnell, the city of Bunnell, and been through Titusville just to check out the facilities. Meant to get to Dundee just to kind of go into the facilities, see how well kept they were, not to meet with the candidates, but just to look at their municipalities, and really took this issue very seriously. I think Andy has strong financial background. He has HR experience, being the assistant town manager in Auburndale. He has community redevelopment experience, and he really does offer the entire package to the city as far as being the city manager. Unfortunately, I haven't had email since the new server has gone up a couple weeks ago. I haven't had access to email. And I know that the council people have been inundated with emails. I had heard about them. Some of them have been, some people have called me. A lot of people have expressed their concerns, and I personally am leaning towards Andy Stewart as the new city manager.
Thank you. For comment? Comment? Just open the floor. Well, it's open. I just asking at the council.
Well, first of all, this has been an extremely difficult decision. I have been contacted by more than 30 of our residents, and two candidates clearly emerged at the top, and they were Courtney and Andy. And I know that some of our residents had as much difficulty deciding as I did, and I know that because people would call me one day and name one candidate, call me the next day, name the other candidate, call me back the third day and say they're back to the first candidate. And I have given this so much thought because we need to get this right, and we need to bring back the satellite beach that we've always known and loved. The thing that wound up being the deciding factor, the discriminator, was Courtney's experience with Satellite Beach and her intimate knowledge of our community and our issues. And by literally 2 to 1, the people who contacted me were supporting her selection. And I would like to make some comments about Courtney, and I'll start by making comments about Andy Stewart. Andy made a lot of friends here in Satellite Beach, and he will always be welcome here, and personally, I hope we see more of him. Courtney brings a wide array of assets that we need. Currently, she's working in a city that is a lot larger than ours and with a full array of services. And she has a deep knowledge of municipal government, and just the highlights of what she deals with on a daily basis are planning and development, redevelopment through CRA, budgeting, personnel management, stormwater issues, contract negotiations, comprehensive plan expertise, and in addition to that, the way City Manager Mark Ryan works in his city, in Titusville, when he has issues that he wants to make decisions on, he forms teams of his key personnel, and Courtney is routinely appointed to those teams, and they make recommendations to the city manager on a wide range of management issues. So that has given her expertise in pension and benefits reform, software selection, capital improvement plans, and other issues that large cities face that we don't even face here. In addition, Courtney has a deep knowledge of Satellite Beach, a clear understanding of the challenges we face, and if you've ever taken the time to talk to her, you quickly realize she also has very creative solutions to every challenge she sees. She also has established excellent professional relationships throughout all levels of government in the state of Florida, and these would serve us well. She has established relationships with all the other Brevard cities, with Brevard County departments, with all the other Brevard County governments, with state agencies, with the Florida legislative delegation, and with Congressman Posey's office. As I think everyone knows, our staff has always been a concern of mine. And I value their work and I value their opinions. And each of the department heads supports Courtney and is ready to begin working with her. So in summary, because of her wide array of city government experience, her established professional relationships that will benefit our city, her understanding of Satellite Beach challenges along with her thoughtful solutions, our staff's eagerness to begin working with her, and her readiness to hit the ground running, my choice is Courtney.
Okay, thank you.
Like Lorraine, I had a lot of people contact me and I spoke with a lot of people, and I struggled the same way that they struggled, because there were people that vacillated on this decision the same way that I did. We had two what I consider to be great choices for the manager of our city, and both of them have managed departments and people. They both currently have pretty much the same size budgets in the respective cities that they oversee. Courtney as a department manager in her city, and Andy as the city manager in his city. But as Lorraine said, we need someone that's going to be able to hit the ground running and start the budget process, that is going to be able to bring new ideas on how we can continue to provide the services that our residents expect in the most economical way. Our biggest needs right now are the development and the CRA issues, and these are things that Courtney is strong suited in. She's proven that she has the contacts in the state and the county. I received several phone calls from people outside of our community that have worked with her in different entities, and as Robin Fisher, the county commissioner from that area, said today, their loss would be our gain. And that's how I'm looking at this, is I know this is going to be a gain for the residents of Satellite Beach. I think that I'm confident that she's the right person to move our city forward, and I have ultimate confidence that she's going to be a great city manager for our city, following in Michael Crotty's footsteps. And that's where I'm at.
Thank you. First, I want to thank all the people that contacted me. I got numerous emails, thank you, phone calls, and I do appreciate it, and I hope I didn't miss anybody in returning an email. I tried to get to everybody, and I appreciate your input. I struggled with this a ton. I don't think it was until really Sunday or Monday that it really kind of started coming to me, and I thought I needed to approach it a different way. I read these 4 candidates, and they were all very good. When you get down to 4 out of the number that we had, you're almost splitting straws here, and it was difficult. Then I started asking myself some questions, and I asked myself, what are the issues that face the city? I needed to know those issues, because I think that's important on who the person is that's going to lead you. And having walked the city for 2 months straight, people told me what they really wanted from the city, where they wanted to be, and where they wanted to stay in the city. They like the city services. They don't like to pay an exorbitant amount of tax. They want good financial government, and they want to be able to move ahead. And my other question to myself was, can that person do what we need to do in the city for the future? And I look at future a little bit different. I saw 27 years that Mike Crotty was here, and that's a little bit of an anomaly in this city manager's position. I look around, I did some research online, and 27 years is not the norm. You know, it's about an 8-year reign. And so part of my decision is I would love to look out 27 years and be right, but I don't think that was very practical. So 5 to 7 years I looked out, and I think that was something that, you know, suited me for what I needed to make this decision on. And who was the best person background to move the city forward with the issues that we face? I asked this question to most of the candidates here. I said, who, and I want to paraphrase a little bit to you, who is that person that will not tell me what I want to hear, but what we need to know and do? I asked this question to all the candidates. A few of them, try to smooth me on it. I really don't like that. I didn't want that. I really wanted that person to be able to stand up, not feel threatened that if they tell me something that I don't agree with them, that they fear losing their job. I want them to tell us what we need, how we're going to move forward in the city. And then I also looked at, can they work with the staff? How good are they hitting the ground and running? Then I looked at the two candidates, Mr. Stewart and Courtney Barker, and I looked at them and looked where they were from. And my only concern with the title was that the town Mr. Stewart's from is only around 3,000 people. And we have a lot of different issues in our town than that he faces with that minimal number of people there. So I looked and I talked to people up in Titusville. I talked to McRyan, I talked to the city mayor up there, and they all said the same thing, the way that Mark Ryan runs the city, that everybody participates in the government up there. And I think Courtney really is the person that can move us forward. And I think what we need to do in this city is move forward. We've always been a pretty progressive city. If you look at our motto, where progress prevails. And I really look around, and it was a tough decision. I agonized over it a lot. I called a lot of the people in this room, and I apologize for calling a lot of you more than one time, 2 times, maybe 3 or 4 times. But we do prevail. We've always been a progressive city, and I always hear people say, well, we need new ideas. And I think Courtney is a fresh new idea. But we've always done things first here in this city. You look at the fire department, 12 lead EKGs before anybody had it. We had skate parks and dog parks before other people had it. So we always moved ahead. And we always looked for things to make our city better. And I think Courtney is that person. I think she has the experience. She has the contacts that we need to move forward now. And so that's my decision. That's what I prefer. Any further comments?
The only thing I'd like to add, Mr. Mayor, is I too had an opportunity to meet with many of the department heads and citizens as well. As a matter of fact, I was getting calls as of 4:30, 5 o'clock this afternoon from people expressing their thoughts and opinions. I believe that, Andy Stewart is a very, very talented man. And when I first talked to him on the phone, he was the first one that I interviewed on the phone. Really impressed me. And, the fact that he's got a financial background is quite impressive as well, especially in this period of time when we really have to look at finances and ascertain what's the best direction for the city to go. Regarding Courtney, I have seen her involved in a number of different levels and a number of different activities, and she really is the kind of lady that hits the ground running and makes things happen. And I have seen her garner the respect of the school board and of our leadership in Brevard County at a very high degree. I believe that she has the vision that it takes to move this city forward. As you know, I've been on council for a long, long time, but I sure have seen people of her caliber step into positions as Mike Proddy has and do very, very well. So I fully expect that if she's the one chosen, it would be a good selection for the city of Satellite Beach. So that's going to be my choice is Courtney as well. Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you very much. Any further council comments? Okay. Hearing none, entertain a motion.
Do we want to make is it a ballot, or are we going to do that? Okay.
I'll make a motion that we appoint Courtney Barker as the next city manager of the city of Satellite Beach.
Subject to her entering into
Subject to her entering into an agreement and contract with the city.
Second. I have a motion by Councilman Montanaro, second by Councilwoman Gott. Have any further discussion? Hearing none, will you poll the council, please? Excuse me, Gott the second.
No.
Yes.
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 Yes. Motion carries 4-1. Congratulations. Moving on to Congratulations. Moving on to agenda item number 4, discuss take action on contract negotiations with permanent city manager. Mr. Attorney, or we were discussing outside to make sure this is right, or comment? Direction we want to go.
Well, I would think that the council would want to make a motion to direct the mayor and city attorney to begin trying to pull together a contract that's in agreement with both parties so we can move forward and exercise this relationship. Is that correct?
Let me bring up one issue. The duty, power to appoint and discharge the city manager is vested in the city council. And as a result, if there's going to be a contract, that's a duty that's imposed upon the council as a whole. And there are opinions from the Attorney General's office that essentially state that, which is consistent with the case law too, that when there is a delegation, whether it's an individual or another body to, in this case using this one, to negotiate the terms of an agreement, then the issue becomes what is meant by negotiating. And if the idea is that the person that's been delegated the duty or authority actually engages in negotiations where there's give and take and things are put on the table and taken off of the table, that gets into what they call the narrowing of options kind of a thing, and that would require that any discussions involving the mayor and anyone else be subject to the Sunshine Law. If all that is going to happen is that the mayor is going to be involved in fact-finding, in other words, just finding out what the other side wants, so to speak, then it's not going to be subject to the Sunshine Law. Now, we did talk outside before the meeting about another way to potentially deal with it, other than to, quote, go negotiate, was that the mayor and myself, and potentially Mr. Benziger, would meet basically to draft up a contract to deal with all of the potential issues from the city's standpoint and bring that back for council approval or discussion and determine what council wants to do with some of the items that would be in there. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of boilerplate stuff in there, but you're going to have issues regarding salary and benefits and any number of those types of things. So the mayor suggested doing it that way, that we would generate a contract and then bring it back for council to approve it, and whatever comes out of that meeting, then we can deal with it that way. And then that would be presented to Ms. Barker.
So what you need is a motion that allows you, the mayor, and Mr. Benziger to generate a contract that comes back to council for the further discussion. Okay.
Correct.
Do you need a motion or just direction?
I would think just direction at that point,
Okay.
because
I have a question. Providing that you do meet and you come up with whatever, I don't know that I don't really want to wait until our next meeting before we, come to
I understand.
whatever. I think we should have a special meeting once you guys talk about what you're going to come to consensus on.
that's what we talked about in the other context, so yeah, we would do the same thing with this.
Okay.
We would post it in enough time.
Yeah.
I mean, let's just get it done and move on. The faster we get it done, the faster we get our person in place and we move on.
We're talking about faster, so I guess my question would be, what would be a reasonable expectation for having Courtney on board as far as timelines go? If contracts can be, what would you look at?
Well, I think there's a couple of questions. Actually, the time it takes for us to draft one, bring it back to council for approval. Obviously, Ms. Ricker needs to contact or accept the offer, and then contact her employer.
I'm discussing 4 to 6 weeks.
Are we talking
Well,
a couple weeks? By April 15th? 3 weeks? Okay.
Well, I mean, we can have something back to council anyway, probably the first part of next week.
Okay.
Okay.
we'll work from there and then go with the dates after that.
I have a question. Mr. Benziger, is this in your scope of services, or is this an additional
No,
service?
it's in the scope of services, yes.
Direction from
Soup to
cities,
nuts.
from council, excuse me?
Yes.
Is that, yes?
That's it.
Okay,
It may be better just to make a motion and just do it that way.
okay. Motion.
I'll make a motion that Mayor Catino, Mr. Benziger, and City Attorney Jim Beadle work on drafting an agreement and to bring back to council.
Before there's a second, I thought it was just going to be Mr. Benziger and Attorney Beadle.
No.
You're going to be mayor too, okay.
I'll second that.
Okay, I have a motion by Vice Mayor Breimer and a second by Councilman Montanaro. Further discussion? Okay, since it's an agenda item, I'll open up for public comment. Hearing no public comment, I'll bring it back to council. Council comment?
Do we want to try, I mean, if we're going to,
I'm
are
gonna,
we looking at like next Wednesday maybe?
as soon as Jim and we get it together, we will make sure we have proper notice to post it and put it on our website and make sure everybody knows and come back. Is that fair with everyone?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Any further discussion? Hearing none, poll the council.
Yes.
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 Yes. Motion passes 5-0. Did I hear any further business before council? First, I want to thank everybody for coming. It's nice to look out and see a full house, and I appreciate all your input to us. And please keep it coming, even though sometimes we might not agree on everything. I very much enjoy getting the emails. So thank you very much. No further business. Meeting is adjourned.